Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series V's I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. Eat the stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty excited for this because, well, it sounds good, but we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, yeah, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That's not the case today. I got this few weeks back. I went out to a little Mexican supermarket, as I've been wont to do. In fact, probably I would say at least probably a solid eighth or so of the stuff that I've reviewed probably comes from just me going to Mexican supermarkets. I love Mexican supermarkets, man. Like, you can get some really good produce there. A lot of times you can get stuff for a little bit cheaper. And then the other cool thing is sometimes you just run into stuff that you're just not going to find in an American supermarket. So, what am I reviewing for you today, folks? Why am I excited? Well, folks, it happens to be, boom, it is Manzana Tropical Sabor Hecho en Ecuador, which it's apple soda from Ecuador. Hooray! Let's get a thing for the thing. Is it better over here? Might be better over here. I feel like it's better over here. Sure. So yeah, I'm excited for this. For one, I like apple soda. I'm a big fan of apple soda, actually. Probably the most common one that's available to me is like Manzanita Sol, which I believe is produced by Coca-Cola, if I'm not mistaken. Really enjoyed that. And then I've had, like Mundell and some of the other ones. This is a new one for me, but here's the thing, though. Tropical, which I guess is like the name of the company, I guess, this isn't the first thing I've done from them. I reviewed a strawberry soda from them months and months ago, and I really liked it. Like, it was genuinely like one of my favorite drinks that I'd had in a while. So, hopefully they hit it out of the park with their apple soda as well. Go Ecuador! I don't know anything about you, but at the very least, you seem to make very good sodas. A little bit less fragrant than I was expecting. But, interesting. Okay. Not as good as I was hoping, but still good. I think the thing that kind of hits me, well, there's a few things. One is that I was hoping that the somewhat lack of fragrance wouldn't be indicative of maybe a lack of taste, but sadly, that's kind of the case in this instance. Like, it's not as punchy as I was expecting. Certainly not as much so as some of the other apple sodas I've had in the past. Then the other thing that immediately struck me was it has a little bit more of like a sourness, like a little bit of a sour apple taste to it. Now, Manzanita Sol, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any of this stuff, but, I'm trying, folks. Manzanita Sol, they will occasionally, I don't know what they go off of, but like occasionally they will do like a green apple version of their apple soda. I don't know if I've ever had it, though. I want to say I have, but I don't know. So it was a little bit interesting that this had a little bit of that sour apple taste to it. That's kind of where my head went. Then the other thing is that it's a very dry drink. Like, it kind of lingers on your tongue a little bit, and like you're left kind of, wanting more fluid to, kind of revitalize your your saliva a little bit. Yeah, very dry, very dry. Um, I don't drink wine, but I know like there's like drier wines and stuff like that. It has to do with like the way that it's put together, and like certain things will actually kind of draw out the saliva, like from your tongue and stuff like that. This has a little bit of that. It's interesting. I like it overall, and I appreciate the fact that it has a lot of personality. Like, I can genuinely say I've never had an apple soda quite like this combination of things. I do wish it was punchier with the flavor. That is probably my biggest point, because the flavor that's there is nice. It's like got a nice apple flavor to it. Again, kind of a little bit of a green apple kind of thing. It's got a little bit of a tartness. But it just, I don't know. I want more of it. Call me greedy, but I want a little bit more of it. But other than that, like, it's a well put together soda. It seems fairly balanced in terms of the flavors. There's no like weird like artificial aftertaste or anything. I reviewed one apple soda, I want to say last year, maybe even the year before that, and like that one was funky. That one just, the way that was, thinking back on it, my brain just, go look up that review. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but just look up apple soda. This one I do like. And man, that's dry. Like I said, the only thing that hurts a little bit for me is I wish it had more of that. Wish it had more punch to that apple flavor, because it's nice. It's got a nice apple flavor to it. So it's a little bit sweet, a little bit sour. Not too sour though, but just a little bit. It's nice, man. It's a nice soda. Like I said, I personally wish it just was a little bit punchier with the overall flavor, but the more I drink it, the more I like it. My initial I had certain expectations going into it, and I think as I've kind of come to terms with it, I'm able to sort of appreciate more what it is doing instead of what it isn't. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with yes, and yes, albeit with some caveats. I'm not going to lie and say that this is my favorite apple soda that I've had, but I do like it a fair amount, and I do really like what it does. Again, I really like that it has a strong personality to it. It's doing things that I haven't had any other apple soda do, and I like that. And it also gives it a uniqueness that means that if I want that experience again, I have to go back to it specifically. There's a lot to be said for that. Yeah, I think I would definitely go back for this again. It wouldn't be like my immediate go-to, but I think, if I ran into it, like maybe if I was out at like a Mexican restaurant or something like that, sometimes they'll have like Mexican or, in this case, Ecuadorian sodas and stuff like that available. I would get it every now and again. Maybe not as often as like the pineapple Doritos, but but I do like it, so I would get it again for myself. If I'm recommending it, yeah, I think if nothing else, there's nothing to dislike about it. Like, again, there's no weird aftertaste or anything like that. It's a nice apple soda. It doesn't maybe deliver in quite the same way that, again, certain other apple sodas do, but I also think that it's doing its own thing, and it's definitely worth trying if you already like apple sodas. I definitely think it's worth picking up, because, excuse me again, my apologies. But no, I definitely think that, like I said, I think it's doing some cool things, and I think overall, even at its worst, it's just, still tastes good, so. But anyway, and to its credit, I would genuinely consider this, out of the 2 tropical, again, branding flavors that I've had, the strawberry and this one, I would say that they're 2 for 2. I think they're like, I need to look up and see if they do other flavors or whatever, because so far I've really enjoyed both of what they've done. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly apple-tastic rest of your life, because apples are good. Who doesn't enjoy an apple every now and again? I like an apple every now and again. Maybe not all the time, but, I enjoy an apple every now and again. Just saying. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, and sometimes you're gassy on top of it. When we deal with situations like that in our lives, though, I mean, if you're gassy, there's only so much you can do, you know. Sometimes you just got to let that out. But, and to be fair, sometimes you just got to let your asshole out, too. That's just a thing. But, ideally, when we can, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe like there's a favorite apple soda of yours that I've never tried before, or at least on the show. Let me know. I would genuinely be really interested because, you know, here in the United States, like apple soda isn't much of a thing. You would think it would be, considering that like apple pie is pretty much like built into our Constitution. It's a thing, you know. Apples are seen as like part of the American experience in a lot of ways. You would think it would be like very prominent in the soda scene, but it's just not. I don't know how that whole thing came about, whatever, but like I know for me, man, I didn't have apple soda till I was like probably in early high school. You know, when Manzanita Soul started showing up in American supermarkets. And my dad, who was also a big soda fan, you know, he went over there and he was like, apple soda! Because I think, like, they used to have apples, like, knee-high. Was that a thing? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if there's, like, something like that, you know, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I can always go over there and try it. Maybe I'll just review some apples one day. Bye.